Jim, the love affair you have with the West Ham chairman is getting really boring. A love affair, really. Please don't make West Ham fans out to be ungrateful or deluded. Of course, we're happy with how we're playing, but that's because Moyes has performed miracles. But they're not ungrateful and they're not deluded.
Well, that's a strange one because we're not making West Ham fans out to be ungrateful and deluded. We're making the ones out that are a little bit vociferous and a little bit counterproductive. Also, when you're looking at, again, I've got to qualify it with colour and soul because I'm not their cheerleader.
No.
You guys weren't in the stadium last year, so the 25 or 30 million quid a year that comes in from football fans' tickets and the club was being held together by Gold and Sullivan financially, whether you like that or you don't. Now, probably, most of these people that are sitting there, telling us how David Moyes is the Messiah were probably the same people that didn't want him there in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the irony of Harry Hindsight here, being the world's best trader, doesn't get lost on me that people are saying don't call us ungrateful and deluded, when in fact you do have to sit there and say, well, the owners held the club together last year, so maybe some of the rubbish they've said we can give them a little bit of forbearance on. Or maybe not.
08717 223344. Pete's a big West Ham fan. Pete, should we be worried that you might sound ungrateful or deluded? Good morning.
Morning. Just like to start, guys, by the fact that Simon's interview with Pi the other day, ripping him to pieces, was absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
I'd like to say, I've supported West Ham, been a season ticket holder for 50 years. I know it makes me sound old, but this is probably the best team, if not the second best team I've ever seen. Now, I know Baz, and I know all the loyal West Ham supporters, and the gripe we've got with Sullivan and Gold, particularly Sullivan, is one, that we were lied to with the stadium as regards how far we would be away from the pitch. And in fact, the first season ticket I had, I could barely see the ball from the stand.
Right.
Now I'm behind the goal, and that's excellent. Brilliant experience.
Good.
The second thing that we were annoyed about is that they take interest on the loans they provide to the club. Now, that's the only two gripes. You can't say they're not spending money. We had 3 years where we flirted with relegation. They got a world-class manager in Pellegrini. He spent £90 million on Anderson and Haller. And all three of them, Pellegrini, Anderson and Haller, were useless. Now, the one thing that West Ham has never had is a team that was fit. And that's the difference between Moyes and the rest of the managers.
Right.
We've actually got a fit team.
Right. Okay. And what about this perceived lack of spending in the window, Pete? I mean, it's my understanding if they did attempt, and if they did manage to get Kurt Zuma over the line, it would blow their wage structure to smithereens.
Yeah, well, my take is, let's be fair, Sullivan is a property tycoon. He's been hit tremendously hard with COVID.
Property?
I'm not sure it's property. It begins with P.
Well, he has, Pete. Listen, you said a number of things.
Can I play devil's advocate on this, Pete, and just run a few things past you? If Sullivan has said to you you're going to be closer to the pitch than you actually ended up to be, do you think it's a lie, or maybe it's a lack of attention to detail and not really understanding the ramifications of saying something that's easily going to come back and bite him on his backside, rather than an outright bare lie? Because ultimately, if you say that to somebody and you're categorically going to be next to the pitch and so on and so forth, you're going to get found out pretty soon if you've told it as a lie, rather than a lack of attention to detail and being a bit foolish about that. The second thing, interest on loans. Well, yeah, ultimately there is an argument to be said that the only people that should ever take any money out of football are players, agents and managers. Now, of course, as a former owner, I don't like that argument. I understand why fans like it, but it's not realistic. And if you look at a lot of football club owners, including the ones that bought Manchester United, that loaded the club with debt, that might not take interest out from the club, but are servicing the interest on the debt, and it's just in another guise, really and truly, it's a principle that you're objecting to rather than the fundamentals of how they're running your football club.
Yeah, that's their point, Simon. Now, going on about Zuma, anyone of his standard that wants 130,000 pounds a week, I would just forget about him.
Well, that's why no deal is being done.
That's what they're trying to do, mate.
That's why they've got a plan B, and plan B is already in place to be completed. Pete, we'll move on. Thanks for the call. Tony, big West Ham fan. Tony, good morning.
Jim, Simon, how are you?
Good,
We're
mate. Good. You sound quite buoyant.
I am buoyant, mate. But I'll tell you what, I've got the hump this morning because I'm sick and tired of West Ham fans phoning up, moaning about the owners and the stadium.
Yeah.
Okay? The owners are the owners. We play at the London Stadium. Get over it, okay? It is what it is. We've done brilliant last night.
Yeah.
We've absolutely destroyed a team that won the FA Cup and the Community Shield. We're top of the table, and people are moaning.
Well
Only
said,
at
mate.
West Ham.
Well
Only
said.
at West Ham.
Listen, you're absolutely right, Tony. Here's the thing. You're absolutely right. There's nothing wrong with holding owners to account. There's nothing wrong with putting their feet to the fire. There's everything wrong with consistently bringing up things from the past that you don't like and overlaying them over a present when the present is good.
Absolutely right, Simon. And I'll tell you something as well. I don't remember anyone running on the pitch or trying to save the bowling. Okay? Right? Nobody thought that leaving the bowling was a bad move. Everybody went to Stratford, got their 360 views of their seats and all the rest of it, and everyone bought into it. And that's it. The fact is, the owners are the owners. We're not going to. These people are not going to get these owners out of the club.
Yeah, yeah. And Tony, if it is indeed the case that Abrahams wanted 160 a week and got that at Roma, and it was a fee of 36 million, were they right to say no? Are they right to say no to Kurt Zuma if his personal wage demands will blow their wage structure to pieces?
Absolutely right. It's a business decision. You know, you've got to be sensible about it, Jim. You know,
Absolutely
you kind of to write somebody. It's not you say, Simon. Somebody has to write these checks, don't they?
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
They're running a business.
Yeah, yeah. Tony, listen, thank you so much for the call. It's a good one. And we are not in the camp of Sullivan
But the
Gold and
challenge for
Brady.
us,
We
right,
have to stress
the
this.
challenge for us is, whilst we have this moment to share with the West Ham fans, is we don't elicit people coming. I want people to come on and tell me and you why we are absolutely fundamentally wrong and not get people coming on agreeing with us, because people agreeing with us is great. It supports our view. But we'd like people coming on from West Ham telling us absolutely why it's wrong for you to support David Sullivan, why it's wrong for me to advocate the West Ham fans to dial it back a bit.
Yeah.
But we don't get it on. So when we get this nonsense on Twitter from certain people saying, oh, you're the only ones that could find a soppy West Ham fan that thinks this, or Jim White's up David Sullivan's backside and only relays certain information.
Yeah.
Come on then. Come on, challenge us. But you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
I mean,
you do it in your own little echo chambers.
I'll read one from Scotty, a message, and then we've got another one, Scott, who's waiting to speak to us. Scotty's saying, Jim White, you're talking absolute nonsense. Why would we back the board when the board never backs us? I mean,
that's a one-dimensional view. I can understand the fact they don't like them, but who holds the club together during a pandemic when the clubs last year have lost 700 million quid between 20 clubs in the Premier League, which means the average club has lost 35 million quid in season 19-20. Forget about what they're going to have lost in 2021, because if it lost 700 million quid across 20 clubs in 19-20, they're going to lose $1 billion between 20. And that's nothing to do with the fans holding the club together, because the fans aren't inside the stadium. That has to be the owners, whether you like it or you don't. And I understand why you don't like David Sullivan and David Gold, because I'm not their biggest fan.
No, but they put their hands in their pocket.
But you've got to have it right.
Yeah.
Sorry, you've got to have it right.
Scott, West Ham fan, you've been waiting patiently, mate. What do you want to say? Good morning. Oh, has he? He's just gone, has he? He's dropped the phone, or he's dropped off. Scott is going to come back. We hear he'll be back with us. You're right, Simon. During the pandemic, owners had to stand up and be counted, didn't they? Dig deep into their own pockets and see what they could do.
Yeah, I mean,
and they've been doing just that.
And it goes with the territory of owning a football club, because you've got to meet the obligations you have. But it doesn't go in the territory when the world turns on a sixpence.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the only people that won't take a pay cut are the players, and everyone else has got to pony up.
Sure.
That is a problem.
I think this is typical of the mood. West Ham have no strength and depth. If Antonio gets injured, we'll be mid-table. Well, he's not injured.
No,
And you're top
but it's right to flag it, and it's right to push the owners back and say, really?
Yeah.
Really? Because
Yeah.
we don't want to be in a situation where we waste all this good momentum because we don't push the envelope when we've got an opportunity to do it. If you've got one fella coming on saying this is the best side I've seen at West Ham for some significant time, then they do have the right to supplement it. But you've got to have more faith in your manager, because David Moyes is not a puppet. He doesn't need to work for West Ham. He's choosing to work for West Ham because his currency will be really bloody high right now. So if Moisey is in who you trust, he doesn't seem to have a problem with Sullivan Gold, does he?
Exactly.
So where's the problem?
Exactly.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.